True healing is about loving all aspects of yourself. I was just listening to the song Guidance by Trevor Hall before I started this recording. And if you've ever questioned, this might be your sign, but if you've ever questioned how music can impact your vibration and your mood and your frequency, I challenge you to try this because I feel centered, I feel grounded, I feel like that song was an absolute sign for what we're going to be talking about today. And because it's called Guidance, we are going to be referring to Spirit to guide us through this channeled full moon activation. We are here for the full moon, tuning in, tapping in to what's going on for the Twin Flame Collective. So let's get into it. So first off, what I want to share before we actually get into the card reading is I want to share a little bit around what's been coming up for me personally. Now, I've been charged with, hosting a community, running a group coaching for Twin Flames. You might hear my cat meowing in the background. And so it's safe to say, especially, of course, if you're watching this channel, hi, I'm Serena. But if you're watching this channel, you know that this channel is a lot about twin flames. And so as such, I'm very tuned into the Twin Flame Collective and what's moving through this collective at these times. And so many of you had just made really big moves in your self-love. And so one thing I was actually talking about with another twin flame was when we make these acts of self-love, right? And we know that there's a level up coming. The first thing that actually happens to us is like that contraction before the expansion, right? So a lot of us are in this contraction where we feel stuck, we feel lonely, we feel like we're not moving forward, we feel a lot of uncomfortable emotions coming up, we feel very vulnerable, we feel very like childlike, like unsafe, like we did when we were children. And the reason for that is because when we have these contractions before the expansion, before the explosion, it's telling us that a whole new level for you is coming forward. And so that's what we're going to be exploring today for this full moon. And I want Spirit to really just guide us and know that when you listen to this reading with an open heart, okay? Readings are just a tool. You can align to the timeline, or you can choose at any point in the reading to discard any part of the reading. So if there's something that doesn't resonate with you, allow yourself to let it go, drop back into your center, drop back into your heart, and remain present, okay? And ask your guides. Let's all tune into our guides, our spirit guides, our ancestors, our higher self, any benevolent beings who are here to guide and support our twin flame journey. Please be present with us now in this reading. And let me know in the comments, okay, you guys, let's do an experiment. Let me know in the comments when you're going through this reading what you feel, right? Do you get any intuitive messages? Do you get any downloads during this reading? Because just the act of calling in your spirit and your higher self are not going to intervene without your, expression, without you saying, please help me. We have to ask for that help in order to gain it. So we are asking, like Trevor Hall in the beginning, we are asking for guidance, Spirit, from you. We're asking from intuitive wisdom from our higher self. May we receive the highest timeline. The best case possible scenario is already happening. And let's tune into what magic this full moon has in store for you. All right, first card, flowing. Okay, you guys, this card is kind of my divine feminine card. So this is telling me that maybe you're coming out of a time where you've been really in your masculine programming. No matter whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter if you're watching this reading. You might have been really operating in a very masculine way. Maybe you've been operating by a schedule, by a planned routine, by taking a lot of action. But what this is telling me is you've kind of dropped out of that masculine programming. And I don't want to say programming in a negative way, because it's not necessarily negative, right? It's just It's just your default setting, right? You just default to this masculine way of being, and there's nothing good or wrong or bad or nothing to say about it. That's just, it is what it is. And now you're kind of exploring a little bit more of this deepening, right? This deepening back into the feminine. And as a collective, we flow, you think about the infinity sign, we flow in and out of these polarities all of the time. And especially as a collective, we have certain times where we are more in our masculine, certain times where we are more in our feminine. And so this is telling me that you have dropped out of that masculine and you're dropping into the feminine. So what we want to know, Spirit, is what does this flowing energy, what does this feminine energy have for us? Like, what are we trying to say with this? Okay. Wow, I have the full body chills. So this card is called Braveheart. So if you have any symbolism on this card, I want to share with you, if there's synchronicities for you with a dagger, a heart, flowers, or a lion. If you have any of those signs and synchronicities, this is it for you. But the symbolism of this card, Braveheart, is it in order for you to tap back into this more feminine part of yourself, it actually requires so much courage. It requires so much trust in the universe, in that you are being provided for, that you are being supported. And when you drop back in to this feminine part of yourself, you're dropping back into your heart. So let's all feel that for a moment. Let's just feel ourselves dropping back into the heart, right? Opening our hearts again. Letting go of fear, letting go of anxiety. Really, truly being present with our emotions, our body, our energy, and moving, flowing in congruence with what we are feeling, what we are being given by Spirit in every given moment. And so when we're tapping back into our hearts, what is it that we're doing on a personal level? Okay, we'll do personal and then we'll do collective next. But what is it that we're doing on a personal level for the people that are watching this? When we're tapping into our hearts, oh, you guys, this is gonna make me cry. I don't know why, because I'm tapping into my heart. We're changing our belief systems. We're realizing that the realities that we lived in the past don't have to be our realities for forever. Okay? So what's so beautiful about this is that you are being given the opportunity in every moment that you can, to tap back into your heart. When you are tapping back into your heart, you are reprogramming your belief systems. You're reprogramming your lack, your scarcity, your feelings of worthlessness, your feelings of needing to sacrifice yourself. You're reprogramming all of these limiting beliefs and past thoughts about what your reality looks like, what you are worthy of. And what you're doing when you open your heart is you are accessing the infinite, you're accessing abundance, you're accessing unconditional love. So those of you that are watching this on a twin flame journey, the act of opening your heart is actually what will bring you to that place of unconditional love. So we need to be practicing this on a regular basis. And so as we're being given these opportunities to change our belief system, Spirit, what is it that this collective needs to know about what they're doing on a collective level when they're able to drop in, release anxiety, release fear, tune back into the heart? What is it that we're doing on a collective level when we do this? I can't believe this reading. Alchemy. So on a collective level, not only are we changing our personal belief systems, but we are also alchemizing everything for the collective. So what you're doing is so powerful, right? This is the idea when you heal or change or shift something in yourself. You do this for your entire generational line. You do this for the line of collectives that you are a part of. So I'll give you an example for myself, right? I identify as a female, so I'm a part of a woman collective. I'm a mother, so I'm part of a mother collective. I'm a twin flame, so I'm part of a twin flame collective. And it goes on and on and on and on and on for all the labels that you might identify yourself, right? Like I might be a white European woman, right? Or a white American woman. You could talk about your lineage. You could talk about where you come from now. It can be so many things. Anything that you identify yourself as is going to be part of the collective that you are joining, right? So anytime you put a label on anything, you are now taking on the karma, you are now taking on the lessons of that collective. So I'll give you even a more specific example. I'm a Leo. So I'm going to be astrologically part of a Leo sun sign collective. Now, I'm also an INFJ. I identify as an INFJ in the personality types. I now have the karma of those collectives. This is why it's also so important, again, when we talk about tapping back into your heart, those labels don't exist in your heart. Okay, this is where oneness exists. This is where truth exists. And now I'm not saying any of these labels are false labels, but they're all illusions of a sort, right? Every way that we identify ourselves becomes a mask, becomes an illusion, becomes an attachment. And so when we're dropping back into our heart, we're freeing ourselves from that karma, from that attachment, right? And we take on both good and bad karma when we take these labels. So I'm not saying don't identify yourself as certain things or don't attach yourself to labels. I'm just saying doing it consciously, right? And knowing when you identify as a twin flame, you're going to start moving through twin flamey things, okay? We all are. And so when you're able to tap back into your heart, the collective that you are identifying with, you start to transmute and alchemize, and you're coming back to oneness, to wholeness. And that is the path towards reunion with your twin. That is the inner union path, as I like to call it, because where I come from, what I teach in, my community, what I teach in my Twin Flame Path to Awakening group is you're not searching for reunion with your twin, right? If that's where your energy is at, you're in the wrong place to begin with. What we're searching for is union within ourselves, okay? Union within ourselves is the goal, right? That is the ultimate goal, to become balanced within yourself. I'm just taking this off the bottom of the deck, and we have relocation. So, Spirit, I'm really interested. What does this mean by relocation? Relocation. Okay. So when we are doing this, this is taking us to a whole new place. So for many of you, it might be a physical relocation. I actually think that this came up in our last reading too. So for some of you, let me know if you watched the last reading for the new moon. Have you relocated physically? Or has your relocation been energetically? You are shifting timelines, right? Every time you alchemize, you're leveling up to a new timeline and a new higher timeline and a new timeline, and you keep doing this over and over and over again throughout your entire, not only your twin flame journey, but your soul's evolution, right? I just watched this video the other day. This is so wild to me, but I just watched this video the other day that scientists in Russia have now been able to predict where the elements of energy, right, your soul, your spirit goes to after you die. And this is so powerful. Again, it makes me feel like I want to cry because it's so powerful. So they had a bunch of experiments, and they put basically tracking systems, and I'm not going to explain this right because I'm not in the science field, but they essentially put tracking systems on all your cells, all the energy bits of a person. And there's been people that have signed up to do this, right? Volunteered. And so the first participant that volunteered to do this died. And they were able to track. Now, this was faster than the speed of light. As soon as this person died, faster than the speed of light, they were able to relocate these particles on a completely other galaxy. One of the farthest galaxies that we even know of in our lifetime, in our solar system. Okay? What is this soul doing there, right? What is that relocation? That means this energy, the energy of you, is able to move faster than the speed of light through timelines. You might feel like your evolution has been slow or things aren't moving fast enough, but all it takes is for you to shift your mindset and you're on a whole new timeline. So never discredit the work that you are doing, when you're moving through these powerful emotions, when you're moving through these powerful, powerful energies, come back into the heart. Okay. I think that's amazing, you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Have you heard about this thing going on in Russia? I would love to know. And I know I sound a little stuffy. I've got a little cold going on, but we're still here. We're showing up for it. So, Spirit, let's get one more card for this collective reading at 15:15. One more card for this collective reading, and let us know what it is. How can we move forward with the most grace, the most ease? How can we make the most of this more feminine flowing energy this time? How can we make the most of this? Oh my gosh, you guys. Dry bed. So this card is really interesting because this card is about realizing, it's really powerful. It's about realizing that everywhere, right? We think about a desert. We think about, oh, it's just a desert. There's nothing actually going on there. But within that desert is this entire ecosystem that is probably flourishing, even though it looks like death, it looks barren. There are things living in this ecosystem, right? So this card, dry bed, it's all about recognizing where you haven't been giving yourself enough credit, right? Where have you been writing off like, oh, this is my flaw, or oh, I'm not good at this, or nothing fruitful is gonna come of this aspect of me, right? Wherever you feel unvaluable or not valuable or not worthy, this is telling you that that is exactly what it needs to be. Those thoughts, feelings, beliefs are exactly what they need to be in order to create the ecosystem that is you. So, especially on a spiritual journey, we can get really caught up in, wanting to, it's so hard, wanting to continue our healing, right? And race through our healing and rush through our healing. But what this is telling you is all the healing that you need is going to take place when you realize you don't need healing, when you become gentle with yourself, when you praise the things about yourself that you think aren't good or aren't worthy or need to change. Healing is not about changing yourself. Healing, true healing, is about loving all aspects of yourself. That is the twin flame journey. Loving all aspects of yourself, the light, the dark, the good, the bad, the strengths, the weaknesses. It's about really, truly being grateful and being present with all that you are, every dimension that you are, exploring it, accepting it, loving it. And if you're not at that place yet where you can say, I absolutely love this about myself, that's okay. That's okay. That will come down the road as you continue the journey. But if you need more support in that journey, feel free to check the links below. If you'd like some more support, some light support, you are more than welcome to join the community. We have a 7-day free trial. So if you want to come, test the vibes, see if you're a good match. We do a live meeting, a live webinar every other Tuesday. So yeah, come join us there. And if you're looking for more deeper support, you can also check the links. Right now, I'm pretty booked up. So I'm not going to say I for sure have anything available because we're just starting our next group, Twin Flame Path to Awakening. But if you like to get on the waiting list, you can always apply to the group and we'll keep your name available for the next group that starts. So I just want to put that out there. If you're looking for deeper support, if you're looking to be held in your journey, if you're looking to support yourself by asking for help, that is one of the most beautiful things you can do, is to say, okay, I want to go through this journey quicker with less pain. So I'm going to ask for help and support because community and collaboration is the path to our healing in our relationships. So I'll leave you guys with that. And with that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sending you so much love and I can't wait to see you next time. Big love, Serena.